Welcome back to Small, Simple, Profitable. My name is Bob Goldman. The goal of this series is to equip you to start and run small businesses that are quickly profitable and simple to manage, whether you're doing business in your own country or in other countries. This episode will introduce a 4-step startup process designed to help you plan your business, calculate your profit potential, investigate those aspects of your business which are unknown or risky, and then decide whether you want to actually launch the business. I will also introduce 4 startup tools that will help you with each step of this process. The 4 startup tools we're about to discuss in this episode can be found and downloaded from the smallsimpleprofitable.com website under the notes for episode 3. Let me explain some of the background behind this startup process and these tools. I want to give credit where credit is due. Let me introduce 4 books that have had a major influence on my business startup thinking. I also want to outline 9 ideas that have shaped how I think about starting a new business. Then I'll give a simple framework for comparing the different approaches to starting a business and explain which choices I've made in developing this process and these tools. After I discuss these books, these ideas, and these choices, then I'll introduce the startup process and the 4 startup tools. The following books have had a big influence on my thinking and have helped shape the startup process in this episode. Book number 1 is The Lean Startup: How Today's Entrepreneurs Use Continuous Innovation to Create Radically Successful Businesses, by Eric Ries. This book lays out the philosophy of the lean startup approach to starting a new business. Key concepts in this book include experimenting, learning what will work, using a feedback loop to improve what you're doing, and building a minimum viable product. Book number 2 is Business Model Generation: A Handbook for Visionaries, Game Changers, and Challengers, by Alexander Osterwalder and Yves Pigneur. This provides a 1-page business plan called a Business Model Canvas. It outlines an intentional process of weekly planning, experimenting, and iterating that's a very helpful way of developing rapid iterations toward a better business model. Book number 3 is Running Lean: Iterate from Plan A to a Plan That Works, by Ash Maurya. It provides a 1-page business plan called the Lean Canvas. It outlines a structured process of iterating from your first idea that's based on guesses to a better idea that's based on experiments. It also recommends bootstrapping to avoid giving your equity to investors. I really like that concept, and I've expanded it to encourage customer funding instead of investor funding for startups. Book number 4 is The Startup Owner's Manual: The Step-by-Step Guide for Building a Great Company, by Steve Blank and Bob Dorff. It's full of practical wisdom about designing a new business to be successful. It has a particular emphasis on combining the customer development process with the product development process, so that customers are intentionally engaged during the product development lifecycle. This helps startups avoid developing products that no one wants and only developing products that customers actually want. Now, I have obviously read other books, but these 4 books have been particularly influential to my thinking. In addition to these 4 books, there are 9 key ideas that have shaped this startup process and these tools. I'd like to share them with you. Idea number 1: starting a business when there is high uncertainty. One of the things I appreciate about the Lean Startup approach is that it's designed for startups where you have a great deal of business uncertainty. If you're planning a stable business, for example, opening a fast food franchise in a neighborhood that doesn't have one, you have a pretty good idea of what will be needed to make it work, and so you don't need much experimentation. But if you're starting a new kind of business where you don't know what products will work or whether you can even find customers, then you need a startup approach that specializes in experimentation and rapid learning. That's why I like the lean startup approach. Idea number 2, starting a business where there is high risk. If you're starting a business where there is a high risk that you could lose all your money, or if you're starting a business in another country where you could be easily forced out of the country for various reasons, then it's best to design a startup that can be low cost and rapidly profitable. This will help you minimize your financial risk and get your initial startup capital back as quickly as possible. That's why I like pursuing rapid profitability. Idea number 3, bootstrapping and customer funding. The term bootstrapping comes from the interesting mental image of pulling yourself up off the ground by your own bootstraps. In business, this means starting with as little outside funding as possible. Practically speaking, this is another term for finding customers to fund your business growth, instead of getting investors or donors or lenders to fund your startup. Idea number 4, thinking like an owner rather than an employee. Most business books and most business courses prepare you to be a good employee. Very few prepare you to be a good owner. I prefer to encourage people to think like owners and to actually become owners. Idea number 5, starting a business without investor funding. I had a friend some years ago who was so successful with his investor-funded startup that he raised millions in financing. Several years later, he confided in me that he was working very long hours for minimal pay, that he owned less than 1% of the equity in the business, and that the board was talking about when they should fire him as CEO while he was in their presence. Basically, he was the business founder, but he was CEO in name only. He was really just an employee because he owned so little of the business. Using investor funds to start a business is a good way to give away equity and control of the business in order to obtain funding. I prefer to encourage people to remain in control of their business by avoiding investors. Idea number 6, pursuing rapid profitability rather than rapid growth. A stable business in a stable country with lots of funding will have the luxury of pursuing rapid growth without worrying about making a profit. But an unstable business in an unstable situation would do better to pursue a profit as quickly as possible and minimize the need for outside money. Idea number 7, adapting lean startup to start small businesses that are rapidly profitable. Most of the lean startup writing these days has drifted toward planning tech startups that want to grow rapidly. This emphasis on tech startups and large business means that lean startup principles have to be adapted if the goal is to start small businesses focused on making a profit. Idea number 8, starting a business that's morally respectable with integrated business priorities. I'm not interested in starting businesses that are exclusively focused on making as large a profit as possible. I am deeply committed to starting businesses that are morally respectable, that are pleasing to God, that pursue integrated business priorities. For me, having a morally respectable business means balancing 4 priorities: financial, spiritual, social, and environmental. Idea number 9, choosing to be openly spiritual from the beginning of a startup. I find that it's difficult to claim my startup will be driven by moral priorities if I'm pretending to be an atheist who doesn't believe in God. The simplest solution to this is for me to be open about believing in God from the very beginning of planning and starting my business. Then when I say that I want to be morally respectable and pursue integrated priorities in my business, it isn't a surprise to anyone. Entrepreneurs who openly acknowledge their belief in God will be expected to try to please God in how they run their businesses. However, entrepreneurs who are atheists or who pretend to be atheists will be expected to pursue maximum profit without any morals. I find that it's preferable to be openly spiritual about my belief in God from the very beginning. These 9 ideas have shaped this startup process and these tools. Now let's look at the variety of approaches for how to plan a business startup. Without a way to compare and evaluate these approaches, it would be easy to become confused by the contradictory guidance from these different sources. So let me give you a simple framework for comparing the different approaches to starting a business. Then I'll tell you the choices I've made in developing this startup process and the 4 tools in this episode. Let me add that this is a highly simplified perspective. I could certainly make it more complicated, but this is a simple set of comparisons that should help you develop your own understanding of the options. Basically, there are 3 sets of contrasting approaches. Contrast number 1. People use different documents for their business plans. Some approaches prefer to conduct a thorough analysis before starting the business, while other approaches prefer a brief plan with lots of experimentation and revisions. Some business plan templates are 50 to 100 pages long with a variety of topics that need to be extensively researched. Other approaches use a 1-page lean canvas that can be completed in 30 minutes and is designed to trigger many experiments and revisions. Contrast number 2. People have different audiences in mind when they develop their business plans. Some business plans are designed to be presented to investors or donors to request startup funding from them. Other approaches are designed to plan customer interactions that will lead to customers who will provide funding to the business by paying for those services. Contrast number 3. People have different objectives when they develop their business plans. Some business plans are designed to create rapid growth in expanding markets. Other business plans are designed to lead to rapid profitability in niche markets. The startup process and tools outlined in this episode are based on 1. Using a 1 to 2 page lean canvas that's designed for experimenting, learning, and iterating. 2. With the goal of customer interactions that can lead to customer funding. And 3. Designed to start small businesses that can be rapidly profitable in niche markets. With these influences and preferences in mind, let's look at this proposed startup process and the 4 tools that go with it. I propose that you use a 4-step startup process when you're launching a new business. In step 1, the Envision step, you can outline your business model based on what you know so far using a simple tool called the Integrated Lean Canvas. In step 2, the Estimate step, you can calculate the profit potential of your business based on what you know so far, using a simple tool called the Profitability Analysis Spreadsheet. In step 3, the Explore step, you can decide which aspects of your business you should investigate next, using a simple tool called the Business Exploration Framework. You can then use what you learn in this Explore step to update the Integrated Lean Canvas developed in step 1 and the profitability calculations developed in step 2. In step 4, the Evaluate step, you can decide whether the business is a good idea for you to launch using a simple tool called the Business Evaluation Framework. The first startup tool is the Integrated Lean Canvas, which you can use in the Envision step to outline your business model based upon what you know so far. The Integrated Lean Canvas is a 2-page document with 18 boxes that will help you plan a business that can balance financial, spiritual, social, and environmental priorities. Page 1 will help you design a business that can make a profit. Page 2 will help you design a business that can be spiritually, socially, and environmentally impactful. Let's look at page 1 of the Integrated Lean Canvas. This page looks at business processes and has 10 boxes, organized into 3 rows and 3 columns. The 3 rows are the Customer Focus row, the Delivery Focus row, and the Profitability Focus row. The 3 columns are Solve, Sell, and Serve. The Customer row has 5 boxes. Box 1 is the customer problem, which is your understanding of your customer's needs. Box 2 is the customer solution, which is the products or services you will offer to customers to meet their needs. Box 3 is the customer value proposition, which is the sales pitch you'll use to convince customers to buy your solution. This includes benefits that customers will receive, the features you will deliver as part of your solution, and the pricing you'll charge customers. Box 4 is customer access, which is your plan to get access to customers and those who influence them. Box 5 is customer segments, which are your target customers. The next 2 boxes are the delivery focus row. Box number 6 is delivery essentials, which is how you plan to deliver your customer solution as simply as possible. Box number 7 is delivery excellence, which is how you plan to exceed customer expectations and wow them. The next 3 boxes are the profitability focus row. Box number 8 is costs, which include your fixed costs and your variable costs. Pricing is actually a part of box 3, the customer value proposition. Pricing is what you plan to charge for your customer solution. Box number 9 is revenues, which is the income you hope to receive at 3 levels of potential sales based on what you plan to charge customers. Box number 10 is profits, which is the profit you hope to have left over after you deduct all your costs from the income you hope to receive. When you outline these 10 boxes on page 1 of the Integrated Lean Canvas, you have a basic business model for your startup idea. When you look at these 10 boxes by their columns, you can see the Solve, Sell, and Serve groupings. The Solve column includes 4 boxes. Box 1 is the customer problem, Box 2 is the customer solution, Box 6 is your delivery essentials, and Box 8 is your costs. These 4 boxes capture how you plan to solve the customer's problem by developing a solution that you can deliver with a certain amount of costs. The Sell column includes Box 3, which is the customer value proposition. This box has 3 components to it, 1 for each row. Your value proposition will have a customer focus, which is the benefits customers will receive, a delivery focus, which is how you will develop the specific features of the solution, and a profitability focus, which is the price you plan to charge customers. Next is the Serve column. This column includes 5 boxes. Box 4 is customer access, Box 5 is customer segments, Box 7 is delivery excellence, Box 9 is revenues, and Box 10 is profits. These 5 boxes capture how you plan to access your customer segments, wow them so they'll use you again and tell their friends, collect income from sales, and hopefully generate a profit. Now let's look at page 2 of the Integrated Lean Canvas. This page looks at business impacts and has 8 boxes organized into 3 rows. The first row is the spiritual focus. Box number 11 is Focus People, which will help you connect with the people you value and want to help. Box number 12 is Family Networks, which will help you gain access to and strengthen family and relational networks. Box number 13 is Freedom to Discuss, which will help you gain the freedom to have open and positive spiritual conversations while respecting the beliefs of others. In the next episode, we will discuss how these 3 boxes can help you give your startup a positive spiritual focus. The second row on this page is the social focus. Box number 14 is People Investments, which will help you think through investing in developing people. Box number 15 is Generosity, which will help you think through your business generosity. Box number 16 is Social Services, which will help you think through the various helpful services that your business can choose to provide or subsidize. The third row on this page is the Environmental focus. Box number 17 is Environmental Mitigation, which will help you minimize any negative environmental impact of your business. Box number 18 is Environmental Improvement, which will help you contribute to a cleaner, healthier environment around you. The Integrated Lean Canvas has 18 boxes on 2 pages that help you plan the financial, spiritual, social, and environmental aspects of your business startup. In the next episode, we will go deeper into each of these 18 boxes to help you develop a holistic plan for your business startup. Now, you may be wondering where this Integrated Lean Canvas came from. Page 1 of the Integrated Lean Canvas was adapted from portions of the Business Model Canvas and the Lean Canvas. The Business Model Canvas was published in the book Business Model Generation by Alexander Osterwilder and Yves Pigneur. The Business Model Canvas has 9 boxes: key partners, key activities, key resources, value propositions, customer relationships, channels, customer segments, cost structure, and revenue streams. The next model is the Lean Canvas, which is a different variation of a one-page business plan, published in the book Running Lean by Ash Maurya. The Lean Canvas also has 9 boxes, but 5 of them are different than the Business Model Canvas. The 9 boxes in the Lean Canvas are Problem, Solution, Key Metrics, Unique Value Proposition, Unfair Advantage, Channels, Customer Segments, Cost Structure, and Revenue Streams. Page 1 of the Integrated Lean Canvas was adapted from portions of the Business Model Canvas and the Lean Canvas. Page 2 of the Integrated Lean Canvas was developed independently of either model, since they make no mention of spiritual, social, or environmental priorities. The Customer Problem and Customer Solution boxes in the Integrated Lean Canvas were pulled from the Problem and Solution boxes in the Lean Canvas. The Customer Value Proposition box in the Integrated Lean Canvas was pulled from both the Business Model Canvas and the Lean Canvas. The Customer Access box in the Integrated Lean Canvas was pulled from the Customer Relationships box in the Business Model Canvas. The Customer Segments box in the Integrated Lean Canvas was pulled from both the Business Model Canvas and the Lean Canvas. The Delivery Essentials box in the Integrated Lean Canvas was pulled from 3 boxes in the Business Model Canvas and 2 boxes in the Lean Canvas. The Costs box in the Integrated Lean Canvas was pulled from the Cost Structure box found in both the Business Model Canvas and the Lean Canvas. The Revenues and Profits boxes in the Integrated Lean Canvas were pulled from the Revenue Streams box found in both the Business Model Canvas and the Lean Canvas. Now let's look at the second tool, the Profitability Analysis Spreadsheet. In step 2 of this process, the Estimate step, you can calculate the profit potential of your business based on what you know so far by using the Profitability Analysis Spreadsheet. There are 4 columns in the Profitability Analysis Spreadsheet: low sales, medium sales, high sales, and break even. The rows along the side help you calculate your total revenues, your total costs, and your net profit or loss for each of those 4 columns. In a future episode, I will walk you through how to use this tool to calculate the realistic profit potential of your business, as well as the break-even point where you'll have just enough sales to cover your expenses. Now let's look at the third tool, the Business Exploration Framework. In step 3 of this process, the Explore step, you can decide which aspects of your business you should investigate next by using the Business Exploration Framework. There are 3 aspects of this Business Exploration Framework: product explorations, customer explorations, and profit explorations. This tool will help you prioritize the next steps that you should explore in each of these 3 areas of your business startup. In a future episode, I will walk you through how to use this tool to investigate whether your business idea can be developed into a profitable business model. Whatever you learn in this Explore step can be used to update the integrated lean canvas you developed in step 1 and the profitability calculations you developed in step 2. Finally, let's look at the fourth tool, the Business Evaluation Framework. In step 4 of this process, the Evaluate step, you can decide whether the business is a good idea and if you want to be the one to do it by using this Business Evaluation Framework. This framework is designed to help you make tough decisions about which business ideas to actually launch as a business. In this framework, there are documents which are shown in blue, decisions which are shown in green, and actions which are shown in red. This tool focuses on the following 3 documents which are shown in blue: the Plausible Business Plan, the Profitable Business Model, and the Business Launch Plan. This tool also focuses on 4 decisions which are shown in green. Those 4 decisions are: will this business be socially beneficial? Will this business be rapidly profitable? Will this business allow you to be spiritually positive? And finally, will this business be worth sacrificing for? Next, this tool focuses on 3 actions, which are shown in red. Action 1 is iterate to a profitable business model. Action 2 is assess the spiritual freedom you will have. And action 3 is clarify your calling and count the cost of doing this business. In a future episode, I will walk you through how to use this tool to make good decisions about the business you should actually launch. This episode began with a discussion of the influences and preferences which have shaped this startup process and these tools. Then we looked at a 4-step process for researching whether your business idea has the potential to be successful and rapidly profitable. Finally, we outlined 4 startup tools that will help you in this process. To review, here's the 4-step process that I suggest you use when you're considering your next business idea. In step 1, the Envision step, you can outline your business model based upon what you know so far by using the integrated lean canvas. In step 2, the Estimate step, you can calculate the profit potential of your business based upon what you know so far by using the Profitability Analysis Spreadsheet. In step 3, the Explore step, you can decide which aspects of your business you should investigate next by using the Business Exploration Framework. In step 4, the Evaluate step, you can decide whether the business is a good idea and whether you want to commit to actually launching it by using the Business Evaluation Framework. Now, it's important to realize that this process is meant to be iterative, not linear. Each of the steps and tools can be updated at any time with what you've learned during your investigations. This means that you should update your integrated lean canvas whenever you learn something about your customers, your products, or your sales pitch. And you should update your profitability analysis spreadsheet whenever you learn something about your costs, your pricing, or your potential sales. And you should update your business exploration framework whenever you learn something about what else needs to be investigated in your business. Finally, you should update your business evaluation framework whenever you learn something that will help you decide whether to pursue the business or not. I hope this episode has inspired you to follow a structured process for envisioning, estimating, and exploring your next business idea so that you can evaluate whether to actually launch that business. The next few episodes will dig deeper into these 4 startup tools so that you can apply them to your next business startup. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.